Delaware County Drainage Board September 10th meeting. If you would, please stand for the pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead.
Here.
Mr. Hamilton.
Present.
Ms. Riggin.
Present.
Mr. Christie.
Present.
Mr. Bothell.
Here.
Mr. Murphy.
Here.
Mr. Borchers.
Here. Approval of the July 9th and the August 13th meeting.
Motion to approve the July and August minutes.
I'll second.
Motion before us, probably second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead.
Abstain.
Mr. Hamilton.
Yes.
Ms. Riggin.
Yes.
Mr. Christie.
Yes.
Mr. Bothell.
Yes.
Tabled business, Mr. Borchers.
I motion to remove the table business from the table.
Second.
Have motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead.
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton.
Yes.
Ms. Riggin.
Yes.
Mr. Christie.
Yes.
Mr. Bothell.
Yes.
Okay. With that, where am I at now?
At the last drainage board meeting, we tabled the issue of the Wayne Johns ditch obstruction. The reason that we tabled that issue was so that we could further research the issue, and specifically if it was under the authority of the drainage board to make a decision on this issue. Since our last meeting, our legal counsel has reviewed the issue, and I believe he has a statement to make.
That's correct. I did provide a memo to the members of the board. Basically, it boils down to drainage boards are confined to the powers that it's granted by Indiana code. While we have authority over regulated drains and some limited authority over mutual drains and natural surface water courses, we do not have authority to determine neighbor disputes on surface water. That's basically what this boils down to. And that there may be other places for those issues to be handled between the parties, but it's not before the drainage board. And so that's the opinion of our office. And basically it boils down to the definition of drain in 36.927.4 and 36.927-2. So provided that information to the drainage board, and that's going to be our position on this matter.
Thank you. Public comment now. Anyone wishing to speak, please go to the microphone and state your name, address.
Mr. President, did we need to vote on that?
I believe we removed it from the table, so
We did. Before we move on to public comment in general, should we make a ruling on how we're going to stand on this?
Well, prior to the August meeting, there was a legal notice in the paper related to a hearing. Anyway, that referred to a petition and wording and so on and so forth. So, again, do we need to?
I think we probably should make a decision on, as a board on the petition.
So I think I'm gonna make a motion that we deny that affidavit for permission, or I probably didn't say that quite right.
Yes,
We deny the request for
We
removing
deny
the
the
obstruction.
request.
sure.
I second that.
We have a motion before us, properly second.
Mr. Whitehead.
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton.
Yes.
Ms. Riggin.
Abstain.
Mr. Christie.
Yes.
Mr. Bothell.
Yes.
Public comment. Anyone wishing to speak? State your name, address, and your intent.
Chad Thornburg, the deputy trustee for Delaware Township, and I was made aware of the situation with the Johns, I guess, through the video that was last month, and So I thought, you know, being the trustee or the deputy trustee, I should get involved in it, and also a farmer. And so I've only dealt with drainage, and I think the day that I die, I'll probably be fixing a tile. It seems like it just never, ever ends. But anyway, my opinion is the board has failed these people on both sides, and the surveyor also. I mean, the drainage is under the surveyor, and I guess at this point, I don't know what the drainage board does. You know, what what is the obligation of the drainage board?
Well, to basically answer that, we take care of legal drainage issues.
Well, and on
And
the, I mean, the subject of I call it a levee. I mean, if you can just put up levees for surface water, I've got 400 acres of levees to build.
I understand.
And anybody that, I mean, like the common enemy doctrine, what I always understood it, you would get together with your neighbor, and, you know, this is both of our problems. And you do what you need to do to my point, and then I'll do what I have to do to get your water across me. I mean, every one of my farms has somebody's water going to it. So you get an inch of rain, that's over 27,000 gallons per acre. That water has to go somewhere. And if you have these levees built all over, if you say that this levee can stand where it's at, then anybody can put a levee in for surface water. And I don't know of a levee anywhere in the county that somebody's put up just to hold the water back, on their neighbor. Not one.
Mr. Thornburg, during the last month, I visited the site of the John's complaint, and I looked at the issue. The problem that they're having with surface water is diffused surface water. It is definitely a problem for them, and prior to the problem of the accumulated surface water, this water did drain across Ms. Hoff's property. But since this is not water that flows in a defined channel or direction, it's outside the authority of the drainage board.
The Johns invited me onto their property to see, what the situation was, and I would think that there would have been a tile in that area, the way that swell is or whatever, running to that open ditch. I mean, you'd have to dig up and find it, but I would think at one time that somebody would have put a tile probably to drain the John's basement for one, and I'm sure that tile's still there, and it's been broken. And then back to the common enemy doctrine, it says in there, and it said in the video, that you can't gather water and then cast it onto your neighbor. And the way the pond was done, and I'm not pointing a finger at Miss Hoff on this, but the way the pond was done, that's exactly what's going on, because there's no control. There's no outlet for the pond. And to me, that goes back on the pond builder. I mean, if anybody was a legitimate pond builder, they wouldn't put a pond in with no sort of a control or an outlet or an overflow. There's nothing. So as far as the common enemy doctrine goes, it's in violation, because she's basically gathering a quarter acre of water, and eventually that quarter acre, it's going to run over sometime. So then that's going to put it to the west, and them folks' names are Greer, and I doubt the Greers want the water. But that's exactly what's going on here, with no outlet. It seems to me that it's in direct violation of the common enemy doctrine, with that being said.
The board attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the common enemy doctrine falls outside of the authorization of the drainage board. We are only authorized to rule on removing an obstruction if it is a obstruction of a natural surface water course or a drain. Is that how you understand it?
Well, absolutely, and, you know, like I think I indicated, there may be other places for these parties to resolve this dispute involving the common enemy doctrine, but it's not this board. And I don't want to give any more advice to the parties on that, but we deal with the matters that the code grants us authority over, and this is not one of them.
Well, and the civil side of it, I'm going to give you my example of the civil side. And this was something that I inherited. I've got a property line dispute going that is actually the property line is a quarter section line. It's the county's quarter section line. It just happens to be the line between me and some property owners. I believe the 17th of October, 13 years. 13 years this property line dispute's been going. So if you send this to the civil side, that's been my experience on the civil side on this property line dispute.
Thank you, Mr. Thornburg. Anyone else wishing to speak? Please state your name, address, and your intent.
Hi, I'm Brandy Hoff, 8209 East County Road, 350 North, Albany. I know this seems like a petty neighbor issue, and of course it is. Unfortunately, I did say that I would install a drain in the fall, and it was not fast enough for the Johns. So then I researched the law, because I do have a right to enact the common enemy doctrine, and the common enemy doctrine does say I cannot disperse the water. Disperse is pumping, and that is written in the common enemy doctrine. Further, they have not asked me if they would contribute, if they could drain their water. There are other ways to disperse their water, like rain barrels or a dry well, if they so choose. I'm not a bad neighbor. This has been a continuing, multiple issue problem, and I'm just adhering the law. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, new business, Mr. Surveyor.
Yeah, before we do new business, I would just like the board to know that it was on the, before now, we didn't have a pond ordinance to build a pond, so you could basically do it however you wanted. But we got it with the committee, and we've been working on it for quite some time now. It's been sent to legal, was the last time I heard, and then it'll be before the commissioners to adopt it. So here in the near future, this will be under the pond ordinance. If someone digs a pond and puts up a berm or something like that, they'll have to follow that through the pond ordinance and the other entities involved besides the surveyor's office, building commissioner, all that. So some of these disputes will be taken care of in the near future with the new pond ordinance getting involved or getting accepted by the commissioners whenever it gets to them. In the new business, I had Mr. Schroyer came in, and he's been working on a tile for, it's been a few years. We put in a few hundred feet every year, this 24-inch tile. And last year, we finished it to the open ditch. And it's bigger than, there used to be an old cement head wall there, and it's bigger. We went up to a 24-inch. And I thought it was complete, but then he brought in a design from the NRCS on a new head wall to put on this 24-inch where it daylights into the ditch. This is just north of McGalliard, west of the bypass a few miles. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with designing new head walls. Typically we'll put some riprap and some fillable flow or some other design work, but he brought this in with a couple of cost estimates to build the retaining wall, and they're pretty pricey. One was about 19,000, the other one was like 32,000. I didn't know what the board wanted me to do with this. If you wanted me to get other quotes, if you wanted me to try to find a kind of a, you know, like a metal structure, something that might be cheaper than building a cement spillway. This just came into my office. I just went out and looked at it last night. I took some pictures, so I didn't have a chance to get you guys any more information than that. I didn't know what the board requested me. You know, that's over $10,000, and obviously, and I didn't know what your guys' purview was on that.
Do you believe that a qualified engineering consultant should review the design before we move forward on the project?
Well, I think the NRCS did a good job on it. I just didn't know what the price of that spillway, if it was, maybe we can get another engineer to look at it. I don't know. Then what are we out? Would it be cheaper to do get another couple quotes? And I guess, I don't know. I haven't really had a design put on my desk like that without, being involved in it a little bit more.
Tom, where's this at?
You go out in McGalliard, across the bypass.
You know where John Ray lives? It's close to, it's right there before you get to the road to go.
I believe so. I believe so. What is that? Past 333, is that it?
Yeah, it'd be,
Just
just
a map.
before you get to Sam's house, Sam Shorter's place, I think. Is it the structure, is it on the north side or the south side of the road?
North side, and it runs up and around. I've got a picture of it, and I apologize I didn't get you guys any more information on that. That's my fault.
You cross the bypass, go past Country Club, keep going east. McGalliard's gonna make a left. Before you get to that left, there's a big ditch through there.
Oh,
So did the Huntington Tech team from NRCS design it then?
it doesn't say if it's Huntington Tech or not. It just says it's a draft from the USDA and then RCS.
I think we should to further investigate the issue.
Yeah, I move that we table this project.
Okay,
I second that.
okay. And I'll give you guys some more information on it.
Have motion before, properly second, roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Yes.
Old business, Mr. Surveyor?
Yeah, Mr. Christie wanted me to update the board on people that talked last month. Cody Light came in with concern on the rector drain, and he had a website complaint. At the time we were out there, we've inspected Cody Light's property. Since then, the contractors went out there. He dug a couple holes to test for flow, and he fixed one small hole. It was actually not a sinkhole. It's where the two old cement pipes came apart. It was about the size of your hand. His issue was that after he gets a 2-inch rain, that tile's still flowing. And we kind of explained to him that, your property butts up to a 20-acre lake that dumps into a 15-inch drain. So, plus, not only that, he's got 60, 70 acres of wetland that drains into that tile also. So, I mean, if you get a 2-inch rain in a 20-acre lake, that's going to be outfalling for a long time, probably a very long time. And he thought that since he was on the end of it where it daylights, that he would drain first. And we kind of explained to him all that pressure coming from the north. It's not always how it works. And someone hooked in a little 4-inch breather line. And so when all that pressure comes down from north, it squirts out of that breather, and he thought the tile was plugged up. And it's not, it's just a lot of pressure. And the water's going to come out where it can come out. It's going to find the quickest route. And it's out of that little breather that someone put on there is where it's coming out into his woods. So we kind of explained that to him. This is another project that we may want to reconstruct. So I'm going to get with Kyle GIS to locate all the properties that drain into this acreages, disperse it to the board and see what we can kind of come up with and do some investigative work to see if that's a project that the neighbors would want to reconstruct. But besides that, the tile was running at a, what it was designed to do 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But you got a 20-acre lake built with a dozen houses sitting around it, and I'm sure all that's going into that tile. But we got him all fixed up. Don Chambers approached with a concern about his neighbor running water onto him. The nearest regulated drain to him was 1,500, 2,000 feet away. I have not looked at it because I was waiting for clarification on what the board's responsibility is on that. Now that we have a clarification, I can report back to Mr. Chambers on that. Commissioner Henry approached about a slow running tile. At the time he came out there, we ran locates out there, and then we've had a contractor. He dug up like 12 holes trying to find if it was plugged up somewhere. And the tile is completely dry all the way through. So it's working, it's working. But I had him install 2 breathers because there's no breathers to do any investigative work. So I had him put one next to the road. And next time it rains, we're going to go out there, and I might do some televised where he couldn't. There's a couple places with 100 foot or so where he couldn't see. And so we're going to either televise or jet rod on those areas to see if there's something broke down. But besides that, the tile seemed to be working, and most of it was plastic, so it's been replaced at some point.
Tom, on this issue, this was where that it was suspected that a homeowner caused damage with truck traffic over the legal drain.
Correct.
If we determine that the homeowner did cause damage to the legal drain,
Yes.
does the homeowner bear responsibility for that claim?
Yes.
Okay.
But they didn't find it broke down. They mowed all the way through there. Because part of it went through the woods, so they mowed on top of the woods. They did not find, and a lot of that tile didn't go through where the homeowner was. It skirted around. There's a place with some old cars out. It skirted around the majority of that property. Commissioner Brand came in. He gave an update on the culvert going under Stockport Road. I believe everybody's received a letter from the county attorney. They're going to go ahead with that project. I'm also going to get with Mr. Johnson on that too, to update the county maps to reflect the reconstruction of that drain. They've done it a few times and moved it so we can get the proper area where that drain is under Stockport Road. Let's see. Mr. Holtzinger approached about 2 sinkholes in a beaver dam. Mr. Holtzinger is going to call my office when the crops are off so we can repair those 2 sinkholes. The beaver dam's already been taken care of. And Dennis Rogers came in to voice his views on debrushing the Racer Ditch. As I stated before, next month we're going to open up quotes to go ahead and finish that job for Mr. Rogers, the town of Dunkirk, and the surrounding area. And that's all I have as far as old business.
This is a time for comment from the board. Anyone wishing to share information, question?
No.
If not, approval of maintenance claims that we have before us.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve claims for $47,385.33. That's this sheet that Jennifer, I believe, emailed to us that does not have the claim on there for work done at the Racer Ditch.
Thank you.
I do have a question before we move forward with that. Do we need a second before I ask my
Is that
question?
total?
You don't need a
Okay.
second before you ask.
On the claim for, there was a road cut. It was almost $10,000 from Butler Masonry. It said that there was a gas line under the road, where there was a sinkhole in the road.
Yes.
On that claim, did the gas line hit the culvert and cause the damage to be
No.
repaired?
When we cut back the road, it was an old galvanized tile that ran underneath the road, and there's 2 or 3 places where our culvert has failed, or not, our pipe has failed. And so when he dug that, though, he had to hand dig it all because there's a there's a gas line that didn't get located. So they nicked that and had to wait for the gas company to show up. And then there's also a high pressure sewer line there that all of that ran on top of our tile. So it's a hand dig situation.
But from the pictures, it appeared that a utility line had hit the culvert. That wasn't the case.
No.
It was
It was
the
just
culvert had just rusted away and failed.
Correct.
Okay.
And it also separated at a joint too.
My next question is on the JJC repair to the Little Campbell Creek or near No Name Creek. That claim ended up exceeding $10,000, which was our limit for sending out for quote. Can you explain to the board why that we exceeded that and what happened on that?
Yeah, I think that's what I was talking to Mr. Bothell about. When I went out there to look at the actual log jam, it did not seem to be an area that we'd have to that would exceed $10,000. But the issue was the access to the log jam took some clearing and some moving, and then to pull that up. And since we're hauling away the log jams or burning them, it exceeded it. But I wanted to get the log jam out of there because the neighbors there were really concerned about flooding their yards and their houses. And I apologize that it went over the 10,000. It was just an area where I wanted to get the log jam cleared and cleaned up. And like I said, it was behind some houses, and I wanted to at least make it look nice when we left.
Understood. That's all the questions that I have. I second John's motion to approve the claims except for the racer ditch.
That motion before us, properly second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Ms. Riggin,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Yes.
Before adjournment, I would just like to say thank you.
Wait a minute. We still have the issue of the racer ditch claim.
Oh, okay.
We were billed $19,000 for the work eraser by Arnold. We chose not to approve that claim today. I think probably it's the wishes of the board that we do not pay that amount, so perhaps we need to discuss how we're gonna go forward.
I have a question for the surveyor.
Sure.
Do we have sufficient documentation after completion of that project to show that the obligations of the contract were not met?
Yeah, we have the specifications that I wrote up. He signed and turned them back in. And it, most of the specifications he did not complete.
Do we have photography of the site after his completion that
Yes.
shows? Okay.
And if we choose to pay him at all or pay him less than the 19,000, do we need Mr. Murphy to write a letter explaining our actions?
Couple ways we could do it. I think my preference, if the board were open to it, would be to table that and allow me opportunity to look at it and determine what was done, what wasn't done, what might be a fair amount to pay, and then come back and discuss that at our next meeting, if that's acceptable to the board.
So moved.
Second.
That motion before us, properly second. Roll call.
Mr. Whitehead,
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes.
Ms. Riggin,
Yes.
Mr. Christie,
Yes.
Mr. Buckle.
Yes.
Any other business?
Yes. Tom, when you go to look at something, say for instance, the situation out there on Romney Street that Don Chambers has brought up, do you have to have permission from landowners to go look and to carry out your job?
I've got a right of entry, 75 foot on both sides of a regulated drain. If I'm not on a regulated drain, I can send them notice in the mail that I'm going to enter their property to get to a regulated drain if I can't get to it off of a road. But if it's like on Romey Street or some other situation that's not near a regulated drain nor on the way to one, then I don't really have jurisdiction. Now, typically, people call and they'll complain, and I'll go out and look at it, and they know I'm coming because they're the ones that called in the complaint. So typically, they know they're coming. But for the most part, if it's not near a regulated drain nor access to a regulated drain, I have no jurisdiction to enter the property. That's the way I read the Indiana code.
Thank you. That's all I have.
And sorry, Tom, I had one more question. On
Sure.
the Hickory Lane issue from 2 meetings ago, it appeared that there was a claim from Cooley's to jet that drain.
Yes.
Has that issue been resolved for the landowner?
Well, the landowner doesn't, where our tile ends, their house is about 4 blocks up the road with no other structures. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a meeting with Stormwater, with Highway, some of the commissioners, and try to find out a way to help those people out. But as far as, I wanted to make sure, because ours is the closest access point to any drainage. So before we did anything to hook into that or see if we can hook into that, I wanted Cooley to televise that and make sure that we had, proper structure to take on any more water. And that's why that was there. So it's in the process. We're going to get another meeting probably next week and get together and see what we can do. See what we can do to help them.
All right, thank you for the update.
Yes.
Any other business needs to come before? If not, I first of all would like to thank the Delaware County Farm Bureau for allowing Mr. Hamilton and I to attend the survey state meeting,
And Mr. Borchers.
and Mr. Borcher. Oh yeah, I forgot Mr. Borcher. And if not, anything else, motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.